This week in Clair Obscur felt less like moving ahead and more like a series of shifts in how I play, how the game feels, and how confident I am in what I'm doing. Between changing my physical setup, learning new systems, and having the story completely upend itself, this was a week that constantly reminded me that I still don't quite have everything going in my favour. Spoiler alert, if you do not wish to know what happened during my gameplay this week, please skip to this time now so that spoilers don't happen for you if you haven't yet played the game. This week began with me choosing to play on my sofa at the TV rather than my desk, which immediately changed how the game felt. I pushed further into the story, finally reaching the Redwoods and the home of the Gestrels. Each new area continues to feel so different. The flying waters were calm and serene, almost peaceful, while the Redwoods were bright, vibrant, and full of patchwork enemies. The enemy encounters stepped up noticeably here. Shields and elemental damage were introduced, and the Gestrels did nothing but send wave after wave of enemies. They even tested what they referred as their ultimate weapon on the party. And after all of this, I still hadn't truly met the Gestrels themselves, which only made them more intriguing. The following session took me into the Gestral Sanctuary. You could speak to almost every Gestral, but many had little to say. It did make the area feel busy, but there wasn't much payoff talking to all of them. This changed though, when I entered the arena. Once I completed the arena, I earned a new weapon and met Sael, our newest member of the expedition. At first I didn't understand her at all. Her mechanics felt unclear, and I wasn't sure where she'd fit into the party. After the arena, the story pointed me towards a new objective, meeting Esquier. Esquier is the one who can help us move across the sea to reach the Paintress. Before any of this could happen though, Mael has a vision, maybe even foresight, involving the white-haired man from earlier, now accompanied by a masked woman. The white-haired man made it clear that Mael's presence could cause serious problems if she chose to stay. When I finally met Esquier, the pacing definitely improved. He agreed to help us so long as we first found Flory. Flory is a stone he needs to carry us safely across the sea. This led us to the Stony Cliffs, barren grey region littered with the wreckage of failed expeditions. It was here where Sael became essential, with enemies clearly weak to her abilities, particularly her dark magic and surprisingly ice. Now, this is where the game tips everything up on its head. After an unbearably difficult fight with the Lampmaster, especially his second phase, the story took a sharp turn. After the success of finally beating the Lampmaster and it looking like we may be heading towards a Paintress, Gustav is killed outright by the white-haired man. Now revealed to be Renoir, an immortal figure somehow tied to Expedition Zero, and with Gustav gone, Verso, also from Expedition Zero, steps forward to lead us into Act 2, leaving me stunned that something so monumental could happen, especially when after this session I look at my PS5 and it says I'm only 47% into the game. This week I really noticed how much real-world setup can affect your gameplay. Even with my LG OLED being HDMI 2.1, same as my gaming monitor, playing on a TV versus a monitor made my timing feel completely different, especially when defending against enemies. It took far more adjustment than I expected. Mechanically, Sael went from feeling confusing to feeling indispensable. The systems weren't fully clear to me, but once the enemy weaknesses aligned with her abilities, she became the centre of my system. Her low HP makes her feel fragile at times, and the rest of the party can also feel like they're just support pieces waiting for her to have her turn. The Lampmaster fight also stood out mechanically. Preparation mattered, but even then, its sort of light attack left me constantly second guessing whether it was meant to be a dodge or a parry. The amount of times I died. The amount of times I died. The world building quietly continues to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Moving between areas tells its own story, with each region giving its own emotional feel. However, this week the narrative started asking bigger questions. Who is Renoir really? Why is he so intent on stopping Mael? And what is Mael's connection to Expedition Zero? For the first time, the Paintress is no longer the main threat, and that uncertainty has made the story so much more compelling. Spoiler alert, if you do not wish to know what happened during my gameplay this week, please skip to this time now so that spoilers don't happen for you if you haven't yet played the game. The moment that obviously stuck out with me the most was Gustav's death. I never expected the game to kill off the main protagonist so abruptly. The theories I had maybe had side characters being killed, even Mael possibly being in danger, but Gustav felt completely untouchable. Watching him die and realising the game was simply just going to move on without him, it completely reframed everything I thought I understood about the story. I'm ending this week genuinely feeling a little bit lost. Flabbergasted was the word I used when writing in my notes. The ground has shifted, the story feels unpredictable now, and everything feels possible. It's unsettling, but also exciting, in a way I just didn't expect. And that's where I'm leaving things this week, just sitting with what the game gave me, and seeing where it leads me next. Until next time, we continue.
Is it really dead?
Looks like it.